moving on.
Instead, we're going to use a solid rocket motor like this. It may not look like that much, but it's actually a very carefully prepared mixture of fuel, oxidizer, and a binder to hold it all together. Now, it's nice and simple because, in theory, all you do is light it and off it goes. We're going to make our own version of it using gummy bears as fuel along with the same oxidizer and binder.
Solid rockets. They've ejected Buster's Bond seat, powered JATO, and fired the Huacha. They're simple and effective.
But producing fuel grains like this is not only time-consuming and difficult, but you need a special license, which neither Jamie nor I possess. So what we're going to do here is to turn these gummies into a powder. There we go. And then send them off to a specialist who will produce for us fuel grains that look like this.
The specialists require the fuel as a fine, dry powder.
3, 2, 1.
And to convert the gummies, Adam has hit upon a technique that doesn't involve large quantities of lethal lava-like syrup.
Seems like it's working spectacularly. Okay, I'm gonna use a coffee grinder to make them even more powdery. Dude, look at that. That is a super fine powder that used to be gummy bears. That's exactly what our Rocketeers want. Time to make a whole bunch more.
While Adam ramps up production on his gummy bear crystal method, Jamie is, well, being Jamie.
Look, I'm loving the technical challenge of making a gummy bear-powered rocket, and if it works, cool. But let's face it, ultimately, there's no real practical application for it. So I'm going to make a second fuel powder, one that could conceivably be useful. Oh, God. That's awful. I'm going to use poop. It's a pretty disgusting sequence up next, so you might want to put down your snacks.
Yep, Jamie's moving on from the myth and is thinking ahead. He's looking into the future of space travel. No, really.
Oh, man, that's nasty.
And like Adam, his first step is to turn his potential fuel into a dry powder.
First, I'm going to dry it out up here in the sun, which has the added benefit of keeping the stink out of the shop. It's already giving me nightmares. And then I'm going to grind it down into a fine, dry powder.
Some sun-dried poop coming right up.
I want them nice and dry and crispy. That's the way I like them.
Processing dog waste into powder is one thing, but the big question is why?
Look, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but crazy is kind of Jamie's MO.
I have no idea if this is going to work or not, but we'll soon find out.
Whenever he can design a system that has no waste whatsoever, where he's expended just enough energy to get the job done and no more, he is the happiest.
Well, it's definitely breaking it up.
And where does that philosophy reach its zenith? In space. Astronauts are already drinking their own urine, I mean, after filtering. With Jamie's plan, they'd also be using their feces as rocket fuel. What could be more efficient? So, while it sounds crazy, there might just be something to this.
It may have seemed like a gag to make you gag, but typically, by focusing on the details,
Tell you one thing, this rocket better work.
Jamie's actually thinking big. So with the gummies and poop powderized,
Yep, that's pretty well ground up.
it's packaged and sent off. After the dangerous process of combining it into a solid motor is complete, it'll be back to the desert for a date with detonation.
Gummy bear rocket in 3, 2, 1.
There it goes. Welcome back to the Mojave Desert.